We got this list via text messages as well as emails. However, we are still waiting to find out what classes and what grades this man was teaching. We were sent this report that states the simulator is an essential step to correcting driver performance problems. And when I asked Lynx if it was still in use in December, I was sent an email that stated as needed. But when I came downtown to headquarters in January, I was given a different story.
As cases have gone up, many people have wondered, where have you been?
This is the Florida statute that prevents self-help evictions, meaning landlords, they're not allowed to stop utilities or suspend them. They also can't do something like change the locks so you can't get into your home. You can see some of the trash. There is this fence, but take a look. The gate's wide open, and in the last hour and a half, I learned this property is owned by Duke Energy, and it's in charge of cleaning it up.
The sheriff told me yesterday that just naming the schools would not have impeded this investigation.
I understand that was not our understanding at the time.
Greg, I emailed the Department of Education. I also called and texted the commissioner directly. And that's because, Vanessa, only rural districts had voluntary mask policies, which means we don't know what a voluntary mask policy would do to districts with urban cities like Orlando. This school year, when the school bell rang, most students had to wear a mask. Some parents were for it.
Do you think it's necessary?
Yes, I do. I am very much pro-mask.
Others against kids having to cover up.
They just wore down on them, so we opted to just go fully virtual.
This dad was happy with Commissioner of Education Richard Corcoran's memo stating, quote, "The data shows us the district's face covering policies do not impact the spread of the virus. I requested the data from the Department of Education and received it in this email Thursday night, then shared it with public health statistician and Texas A&M professor emeritus Eric Solomon and Jason Salami, an epidemiologist and professor at the University of South Florida College of Public Health."
Based off that data, does it show that masks don't work in schools?
Yeah, so I go by not only that information, but the information that was also cited in the recent Morbidity Mortality Weekly Report by some very well-respected authors from the Florida Department of Health. And I did not see evidence that masks don't work.
The state looked at information from 27 Florida counties with optional face covering policies, all rural, the largest Marion County with 41,000 students.
It's important to realize that 93% of the population of students are in a county or a school district that did implement mask mandates.
Without info from any urban districts, Solomon and Salami say there's no data to confirm or deny mask effectiveness in schools. Now, for this story, we did once again ask to interview Commissioner Richard Corcoran, but that request was denied. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to look at a CDC report that also looked at Florida schools and used some of that same information the state sent us, why it's recommending that masks still be used. Reporting live in Orlando, Sierra Putman, Channel 9, Eyewitness News. When you get locked up, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's where attorney Carlos Haynes comes in. But he says he has to pay to talk to his 6 clients at the Volusia County Jail.
I understand that this is a desperate time. It's a new time.
But
you have an absolute right to speak to your attorney, free of charge.
The jail, like many others, suspended in-person meetings, but unlike other jails, the only way to contact a client is by paying for a phone call or video chat, $7.50 for a 30-minute confidential video conference.
While that doesn't seem like it's much, the Constitution isn't for sale.
The visitation suspension is due to the pandemic, and as of now, the jail is virus-free.
Today, there are no known cases of COVID-19 with inmates or staff.
Haynes has clients elsewhere.
Orange, Osceola, Seminole, none of those places are restricting to the level as Volusia County.
I reached out to 7 other Central Florida counties and learned Volusia County alone charges private attorneys to talk to their clients. Brevard and Flagler counties allow in-person visitation after attorneys pass COVID-19 screenings. Seminole County allows lawyers and clients to meet with plexiglass in between. Here at the Orange County Jail, not even attorneys can come and visit their clients in person, but they can still come to the video visitation center to talk to their clients free of charge. Osceola, Marion, and Flagler do something similar or have waived video conference fees for private attorneys. Haynes is ready to take this to the Florida Supreme Court if Volusia County doesn't change.
And if you sit back and allow the government to say we're going to take away these people's rights just because we're in a uncharted territory, eventually they'll come at your rights.
Sierra Putman, Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Martha, tonight we are live here at the Lynx campus off of Jong-Young Parkway because back in 2015, this is where we came to get a first glimpse at this simulator, but yes, so operators could better drive those buses. When I asked about if it was still being used in December, I was told as needed, but then 1 month later, I was told it has not been used since June of 2018. In 2017 and 2018, Lynx bus operators were involved in more than 1,600 crashes. 540 were considered preventable.
And then I just hear a car hit the back of it.
Often, it's another person's fault, but when it's not, that could mean additional training or discipline for bus operators.
I think that before we discipline the employees, that we give them the proper training to include the simulator. And, you know, exhaust all options.
Ishmael Rivera is the president of the Lynx Bus Drivers Union. He likes his work, but he doesn't think Lynx drivers get enough training, especially ongoing training.
My suggestion is that we constantly get trained at least once a year or every other year.
We've had this simulation machine since about June.
One tool Lynx bought in 2014 to provide better training was this simulator. Lynx showed us the $400,000 piece of equipment.
Did you ever use it?
No.
Give me a little bit more rain.
In 2015, Lynx said all new hires would train with it.
Are new drivers using it to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge. If we don't use it, it is a waste of money.
We were sent this report that states the simulator is an essential step to correcting driver performance problems. And when I asked Lynx if it was still in use in December, I was sent an email that stated as needed. But when I came downtown to headquarters in January, I was given a different story. So when we asked about this in December, why weren't we told that you stopped using this 6 months ago in June?
No idea.
No idea. And so why are we talking to you and we're not talking to the CEO? We're not talking to someone who's overtraining. The CEO declined an interview. Edward Johnson has been under pressure after we reported Lynx faced a possible $21 million budget deficit. Lynx spokesperson Matt Friedman says the bus service now uses a different system for training. It's required for bus operators and anyone else who drives a Lynx vehicle.
We started going to a defensive driving system, Smith system, which we felt was a little bit stronger for us because it's actual on-the-road training.
Rivera says it's okay, but involves hours of classroom training.
Give them more driving time and less classroom time. That'll make them better operators.
Now, Lynx told me the new training is better, but after we started asking questions, we got a written statement from the CEO stating in part, going forward, all new operator hires will go through both trainings. Now, I am told drivers who run a red light or get into an accident will also start using the simulator sometime this year to get retrained. However, when it's going to start being used again, that's unclear. Reporting live, Sierra Putman, Channel 9 Eyewitness News. And today I asked Comptroller Phil Diamond not only why she was hired, but why she still has a job. And in a nearly 20-minute interview, he defended his employee and put part of the blame on Orange County for not being more transparent.
I think the county did not provide good information, and I think as a result, the county has placed us in an awkward position.
Orange County Comptroller Phil Diamond says his office knew Karen Peters was under investigation when it hired her, but says his office didn't have the details or know how serious it was. This 31-page investigation says she improperly took and shared a picture of a UCF intern. It was shared in this sexually charged Facebook Messenger conversation in which she also sent pictures and video of herself performing a sex act at her desk.
This is disgusting. This is wrong. We were appalled.
But not appalled enough to fire her. Peter's old boss was demoted after the report. His yearly base pay dropped by more than $7,300. Peter's pay increased by nearly $5,000 because she resigned mid-investigation and accepted the comptroller's office job. Diamond's office didn't know the details up front,
but got them during Peter's new hire probationary period. He could still fire her, no questions asked, but he decided to put her on permanent probation instead, in part because she has hard to find technical skills.
With second chances comes responsibility, and the responsibility is knowing that you're walking on a very thin edge, and if you don't behave, you're going to be terminated instantly.
Why should taxpayers be paying for this employee?
Well, I think, like I said, she's somebody with very valuable skills. She's somebody that is doing a good job.
And the comptroller says in light of what happened, his office will no longer hire someone that is currently under investigation. Instead, he says his office will hold off until it can review all pertinent facts about a new hiree. Reporting live in Orange County, Sierra Putman, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.